Good evening, salutations, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this special live. I've been wanting to have this person on for a while, especially ever since I started my channel. This is a privilege to have this person to come up and do this with me. So I had to make sure I have my bra on to come before you and make sure that we have a time here. I know that you going to enjoy this interview as well as I. He is a award-winning content creator and author, and we're going to discuss all the things, his content, and how he just became this YouTube phenomenon. So, without further ado, once I get through this intro, we're going to be in the presence of the Scotty by Nature. The Scotty by Nature in the building. There is Scotty by Nature in the building. Yes. Yes. So how are you?
I'm tired, but I'm
Yes.
doing great.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to, like I said, I just thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the people that are coming into the building. Let me just acknowledge them real quickly. Miss Nikki McDade. Hi, Miss Stevie. Shout out to you. UKNW Payne, Parker Boy. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. Reflections with Kimberly. Thank you so much for being here with us. But like I said before, this is the Scotty by Nature. So Scotty, I just want to get more because I like to get more into the background before you became Scotty by Nature, or and before that you was Mrs. Still Standing. Before that you was Scott Heath. You're still Scott Heath, but there was a Scott Heath that we just didn't know about before.
Right.
Before you entered into this space, right? So I
Mhm.
want to get more into that space with you because there was a time when you originally was from the M, crook your letter, crook your letter, hump back, So, you was born and raised there, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, how was that like? I want to go before I get to the epidemic part. I want to go into the upbringing. Was it a two-parent household, siblings, cousins? Like just kind of give me more of the dynamic of it
Okay.
all.
So growing up, I grew up in the house with my mom, mainly my mom, my sister, and my stepdad. And then my brother was born when I was like 11. He was
Oh,
born
okay.
in 2000, straight up in 2000, June of 2000. He was born. That was
Are you
like
the oldest?
Yes, I'm the oldest of my mom's kids, but on my dad's side, my dad had six kids, including me and my sister.
Oh, okay.
And I'm the second. I was believed to be the oldest, but I'm
Okay.
the second
Gotcha.
oldest. Yeah. So yeah, and it was mainly I mainly grew up with like I said, my mom, my sister, and later on my brother. And then we didn't have many cousins that was our age. Like a lot of our cousins,
Really? I'm
yeah.
surprised. I would think you have a bunch of cousins.
Like I have a bunch of cousins on my dad's side, but I didn't grow up with my
Got
dad's
okay.
side.
Duly
Yeah,
noted. Okay.
I didn't
Mhm.
really get to like have a relationship really with my dad's side until I was in my early 20s. But
Oh,
yeah, because so I would be around them from time to time, but I didn't grow up with them. But I
got
mainly
you.
grew up with my mom's family, and most of those people were older than us. Like we didn't really have any
Like that bond. Mhm.
your cousins that were me
Mhm.
and my sister's age, because I'm now 36 and my sister just turned 35 last month. So we're like a couple of like 18 months apart, I guess you could say that.
Got it. Irish
And
twins.
yeah, and so we if we had cousins, they would be older, like around my mom's age or a little bit younger than her, or they would
Okay.
be
So they'd be more older to be your aunt and uncles.
okay. So my mom didn't have any siblings. So all
Oh,
we
you're
had was
oh,
great aunts, and I never knew my great uncles because they passed before I was born.
okay.
But we grew up with them. I didn't grow up with any grandparents. They were all alive, but I didn't grow up with them. I don't have any relationships with any of my grandparents. And when I was young, we was always around my great grandparents, but they died when I was my great grandmother died when I was like 4, and my great grandfather died when I was 5. So
Mm,
I have vague memories of them, but I
got
don't have
you.
a lot of memories of them.
So let me go back into when before you had the sibling because that was 11 years that
Mhm.
you spent because I was 13 when my brother came along, so I get the whole just to being the only child at that time. So were you spoiled? Were you a mama's boy? Like how was that? Well, how was that like for you before the sibling came?
Well, I was definitely a mama's boy, and that's because like I was very like close to my mama. Like, um, although my stepfather was in the house, the relationship was tumultuous, so I didn't
Hmm.
really get along with my stepdad, and my dad really wasn't around then. Like I would only see my dad maybe once a year, and
Wow.
that created the issues with me and my dad. But I was very close to my mom, was still very close to my mom, and I was pretty much my mother's protector for the most part. I've been her
Yes.
protector since I
Yes.
was
Mhm.
a young boy. Like I saved her from a lot of situations as a young boy. So it was all she always would say that I was like her Superman in a sense because I always was there to save the day all the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
So
into that. Yeah.
yeah, so
Mhm.
I was definitely a mama's boy. It was always all about my mom. I was always very protective over my mom. You couldn't say anything about my mama in my presence, and you still can't. But
Right. I get
you know,
it. I get it. Yeah.
you know.
So now, what was the transition like being from the only child at that time, and then your younger brother coming along? What was that transition like for you? And did you want to be your older sibling? Because I know a lot of people always want to have like a younger sibling.
Well, like I said, my sister was also in the house too. Me and my sister have the same mom and same dad, and my youngest brother comes from my ex stepdad now, ex stepdad.
Mhm.
So when my brother came along, I was at first, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't happy about having another sibling,
Oh,
but I don't know what it was when he came along. When he was born, he immediately clung to me, and it's been like that since he was born.
mhm.
And I kind of stepped in, although my stepfather was in the home, he didn't really take out a lot of time with my brother. So
Mm.
he didn't spend a lot of time with him.
Why do you think that
Um,
is? Why do you think that was? Do you have
I
an
mean,
idea?
because he had another son before my brother that he didn't spend any
Oh,
time with and then wasn't really
mm,
in his life like that. So,
mhm.
you know, so a lot of times my brother was around me and my sister a lot. So when my mother was at work or when my stepfather was at work, we'll come home from school. We would have to watch him. We had to feed him, when they was not around, when they was working. And then, when I graduated high school and then I went to college, you know, I went to college and then and then when I came home from college, I was still going to college, but I stopped staying on campus.
Right,
So when
right.
I was at home a lot, it was the same thing. I was still watching him all the time. And when I eventually left college, I wasn't doing anything but sitting at home. So a lot of times I'll take him to school, pick him up from school, pick him up from school, get him whatever he wanted. It was that type of thing. And sometimes when my mom couldn't be there for certain things, like she'll have to work. If my brother had like a science project
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that, I would sit in for her if she couldn't be there.
Wow.
So I
So
was pretty
cool.
much like his second father
Yeah,
in a sense.
right. Because
So
I was
that's
gonna get into that because I'm going back to because you was a father figure.
mhm,
So, but before your brother even knew what a father figure was, you say he already clung to you, like he already had that bond and attachment to you before you even
mhm,
understood the concept of you being a father figure and before you took on that space,
right.
that role, right? So, what do you think? Why do you think it was? What is it about you, or what was it that he felt like drawn to you about? Like, what do you think of why you think that was that he felt so drawn to you at that moment, even before you
I
became that
still
okay.
wonder.
You s
Because I can't put my finger on it, but I still
right.
wonder why.
Mm.
because it was like that even when he was a baby. Like
Right, yes.
it was like
I
that.
think
I
it's like a
remember.
soul tie. Then you talk about the soul tie thing, Scotty. So I think it might be that, and we don't even know. Like we wouldn't know until now. Subconsciously, you was his soul tie.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I remember my mother bringing up something that happened a long time ago. I think I was home from spring break, and I was in the sixth grade, and he wasn't even a year old yet. So I think he was probably, this was like March during spring break. So my brother had to be like 9 or 10 months old then. And every morning my mother would be sleeping. I hear him wake up, and I'll go and get him, and I'll bring him in my room, and he'll sit in my bed with me and watch music videos all
Oh,
day. And
oh,
then after I went back to school after spring break, he'll wake up and my mother would catch him crawling to my room looking for me,
oh, wow.
but I was gone back to school. So it was like
Wow.
certain stuff like
That's
that. Or
amazing. Because what's the
right.
thing there? Because what is that like though, Scotty? Like, how does that make you feel when you have someone, look up to you like that you might like? How does that make you feel?
Well, I know that some of my friends that's in these comments are probably gonna cuss me out like they always do. But I'm gonna say this. I know that he looks up to me because of some of the things that he said recently, and he every Father's Day he calls or tell me Happy Father's Day or whatever. I always feel like
Wow.
I'm not the right person for him to look up to because I didn't accomplish certain things that I felt I should have accomplished. And you know what I'm saying? I'm
Mm.
like, there's other people he could be looking up to other than me. I'm really not the perfect person. I haven't made some of the best decisions in my life, but he still looks up to me. But everybody tells
Mm.
me no one's perfect. So,
Right, right.
you shouldn't be, putting yourself
Yeah, you kind
down
of yeah,
like
you
that,
keep from
so it's always something for it does feel good to have somebody look up to you, especially when you're a person that doubts yourself all the time. But when you have somebody another
right.
human being that looks up to you, it's a feel good. It feels
Yeah,
good
it
to have
should,
somebody.
and right, it does, and it should feel good. I also understand where you're coming from when you have those, reservations in regards to how you feel that you haven't accomplished enough, but, when someone idolizes you, you want them to see you at your most vulnerable. You want them to see you broken. You want them to see you in that space where it's like, "Wait a minute now, how do you handle this?" Or, "How do you deal with this?" And so that represents growth, that shows true leadership, and it shows that you're able to receive whatever blessings that do come,
That's
so they're able to see that. So, so they're gonna look up to that, then of course, and look, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you say they're cursing at you now. they
see,
say cursing at you now.
see,
See, so there you go. There's your reassurance right there. But I also want to get because you talked briefly about the schooling part, but I want to start with um the elementary and junior high. I want to start there. How
terrible.
was your uh, yeah, were you any extracurricular activities? Were you bullied or like you said terrible?
Bullied.
Yeah.
I didn't go into like any extracurricular activities. I did want to be in a band real bad. I wanted to be in a band
A
so
lot of
bad.
people like to go do the band, yeah.
Yeah, because I love music, and my mother bought me a saxophone and everything, and I was gonna play the saxophone and all that. But it was like I was taking general music and couldn't read music, so it was kind of like, why am I trying to be
Right.
in a band and I can't read music? But that was the only thing I wanted to do was be in a band because I love music so much. But that didn't happen. However, other things that happened from like grade 4 till about mm, maybe like grade 9, I was bullied.
Mhm.
Um, and it was like it was one of those terrible times. It was terrible. Like when people look at me or when they talk to me, if people notice me, I don't really look people directly in the eye like that. I still don't look at people directly in the eye. I can't look at people directly in the
Let
eye.
me tell you something, before you go. I gotta say something.
Uh-huh.
I just want to let you know that sometimes, all the people that think I was rude when I look at you in the eye, I got a lazy eye, okay? So sometimes it may
Mhm.
wander. So you may think I'm not looking at you, but see what it's doing. You see, it's right there.
Yeah,
It's right there. You see. So so if you think I'm not looking at you in your eye, there's a reason, and I can't control it. So
right.
yeah. But for other than that, I'm very shy as well. So I just wanted to I
Yeah,
would
I
make
don't look at
away.
people directly in the eye, and because, like, growing up in school, like, I can remember a lot of instances that happened, like, I've had, like, chocolate milk thrown in my face and don't know
Oh,
why. I remember
mm,
sitting in the gym by myself one day listening to my Walkman because I love music, of course, like I said before. Probably was listening to some Boys to Men album or some, Ice Cube Wu-Tang album or something like that.
yeah.
Sitting by myself, and all of a sudden I get slapped in my face, and then five other boys, and then I get held down by the same guy that hit me, and five other boys come and take turns punching me. Um, let me see. I remember going to the bathroom using a urinal, and one of the guys that used to pick on me, I'm using the urinal, he gets behind me and humps me from behind,
What?
and things like it was things like that that would happen. They
What?
tormented me when I was in school. Like, they did terrible things to me. Or, for example, I remember being sitting down in English class in the seventh grade, and you know how people back then would pass notes around when we had
Yes,
notes.
yes.
I get a note handed to me, and I open it, and there's mucus in it. It's like stuff like that that would happen, and I never could understand, what did I do? Why y'all don't like me? Why are y'all bothering me? Why are y'all
Oh my
picking on
God.
me so hard?
Mm.
And it wasn't just guys. Sometimes it would be girls, and I had to fight a girl off of me,
Right, right.
because she followed
Self
me, and
defense. Yeah.
you gay ass bitch, you this, you that, blah blah blah, and then she hit me in my eye, so I hit her back, and we
Well, let me ask
fought.
you, all this that you went through, were you able to go to anybody did you tell anybody about this? Did you go to anyone?
I definitely went to, like, teachers about it. They didn't care.
Yeah, yeah.
Went to
Because I was gonna
principals
say,
about it.
yeah.
They didn't care.
Mm.
So it back
Did you go to
then.
anybody in your family? Because family members usually are protected. They usually they will come rolling in and do some things. So you ain't tell anybody in your family?
Now, I told a lot of times I would keep it from my mother, which was a lot of reasons why she would be so mad at me, because I would keep things from her. But the times that I did tell her, my mother would march right up to that school,
Right, right.
raise hell, and let them know what was going on. But a lot of times, I didn't want to be that little boy that was running to his mama telling her everything. I would just try to keep it to
Mm,
myself and not
mm.
really try to deal with it on my own. But I knew that I couldn't really deal with it, and because I was the oldest, I was like put, not necessarily saying I was put on a pedestal, but I had this pressure on me that you're the oldest, so the
Yeah, to
oldest
do
is
right. Mhm.
looked to protect the younger siblings. But for me, it was like, well, I can't really protect myself, so how can I protect them if I can't protect myself?
Let me ask you,
So
Scotty, because how for first of all, I want to know, how did you rise above all of that you went through, and secondly, I wanted to know, did you ever come across anyone that was very dismissive of the whole bullying thing? Because a lot of people, at that time growing up, bullying used to be, they felt like it's a rite of passage. No, it's not. It's not okay. So you always get these people that be like, oh, well, that just means that they like you, or just ignore them. That's a part of life. Kids are cruel, and it's just always brush it off. And it's like, as you get older, you realize, no, that's not okay.
it was definitely
Yeah,
dismissive. That were dismissive, like
yeah.
family members that were dismissive. They say, "Oh, ain't nothing wrong with you," or "You just sensitive," or something like that. So when you
Mhm.
hear stuff like that, it's kind of like, okay, so why am I telling them anything then?
You right, exactly. So let me ask you, because I want to know if I could relate to you on this one. As you got older, did you become defensive? Did you
Yes.
become okay? So it's not just me, okay? Because they're quick to say that about me. It's like you could say any hurtful thing you want, and if I respond to it, I'm defensive. But if I come at you and you respond a certain way, I'm supposed to eat it. I'm supposed to just take
And
accountability.
that's the way my life is right
Yeah.
now. And
So
I can
yeah.
honestly say
Yeah.
that I tell my story about depression. I tell my story about
Mhm.
bullying all the time. And I always tell people, when you go through bullying at a young age, it follows you into your adulthood.
Yes, it does.
So going into my adulthood, I was very defensive. Um, people may not even be making fun of me or anything like that, but that's the way I take it because that's
Started.
that's
Mhm.
how it started.
Mhm.
So even now, like I could get like it's I'm getting a little better with being defensive, but I still had that defensive nature about me because there's sometimes it's like, okay, are you joking or are you not? Because now I'm ready to pop off
Ah.
on you now.
Oh
So
goodness.
it's
Yes.
you
Okay.
know I've calmed
Mm.
down a lot over the last couple of years, but there was a time where I was very defensive to the
Mhm.
point to where couldn't nobody really say anything to me. I remember me and my cousin were roommates in college, and the guys that would come to the room to hang out, they wouldn't say anything to me because I was closed off
Right.
and
You
defensive.
didn't. They didn't. Yeah, because they didn't know how you was going to receive them.
Right. So
Wow. And you know what? It's so funny you mentioned about whether, you can't tell whether or not a person is joking or serious because I get it's the reverse for me because I have a warped sense of humor and my my way of speaking is, not always received as well because I ruffle a lot of feathers with the way that I express myself. And a lot of people don't take my tone too well. So
right.
sometimes I feel like they always say, I don't know whether you're joking or whether you're serious. So it's like, okay, well, I'm not sure what to tell you. But yeah, so it just kind of resonated with me when you said that. But so when dealing with the bullying, how did that affect your performance in school? How did that affect
Oh,
you?
I can tell you when you start off school, your first grade year, second grade year, your first grade year, you're on the principal's list, you're a straight A student. Your second grade year, you are on the roll, somewhat principal list. Then you make it to the third grade, and you can barely get all B's. And then by the fourth grade, you make your first F.
And that's to seem like, and that's where you got the most attention now, didn't you? When you started
Yes.
failing, that's where you got the most attention. Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
And then by the fifth and the sixth grade, it was, I never just felt like I never got held back, but I did enough to get by because I didn't like school. I didn't want to be there. Like
Right.
I
Right.
was
Yeah.
halfway by this point, I was halfway listening, and all my teachers would tell my mom and parents teacher conferences that, oh, he's very intelligent, he's smart. I don't know why the grades doesn't reflect that and stuff like that. And then my mom would get upset with me because she knows that I'm not applying myself, but and I understood that, but it was annoying because it's like I know I can apply myself, but how can I apply myself when I got a bunch of
Right. You're
door dogs
tormented.
growling
Mhm.
at me every day, going to school, bothering me every day at school. And when I get home from school, it's not that peaceful when you get home from school because you live in a house with a stepfather that's just as menacing as the kids that you go to school with. So
And
how do
then you
you
have to,
expect my
right.
performance to be
You
perfect?
come home, right? Exactly. You come home and you coming home with responsibilities that a grown man should have. So
Exactly.
that's a factor as well. So I'm so sorry that you went through that. By the way,
Mhm.
I'm really sorry for that. Um, but I also wanted to see like from that experience, how did that? What did you take with you? Okay, okay, two part again.
Mhm.
Go transitioning from elementary, junior high, because high school, like I really want to get more into your high school stage because that's like
Okay.
that's pivotal. I think to me that would be pivotal because in this coming from that space,
Yeah.
what did you take with you, good or bad? What did you take with you once you entered high school? What did you take with you, good or bad? You
Okay.
know, mhm.
Okay. So when I got to high school, that's when I started to get a voice. I started to get a voice. Now, ninth grade year was one of the last years of my school life where I was gonna deal with the bullying. Like
Yeah, it had to stop. It had to end.
I think I lost my mind at that point because I started bringing knives to school. And
Mm.
then I started bringing like pepper spray to school or going in my mom's purse and taking her blackjack and putting it in my book bag. Like
Ooh,
it was
yeah,
stuff like
yes,
that. And I
yes,
think by that
mm,
point I had had enough
yes. You was fed
and
up. Yeah,
I was tired of it.
right.
So I think it was one situation where it was this guy. I was riding about the bus with him. It was this guy. From the moment we started riding that bus together, because I was in the ninth grade that year, he was in the 10th. So we was riding the bus. He would verbally come at me all day, the whole
Mhm.
bus. ride to school. Then I'm like, oh, I gotta ride this bus with him going home.
Mm.
Like I can't escape it. I can't escape it. I
Mm.
can't escape it. So I brought a knife to school, and I
Wow.
was saying, if he comes at me, I'ma cut him. And then it got back to him that I said that. So one
Really?
day
Mm.
we were in tutoring one day, and I was waiting on my mom to come and pick me up from tutoring, and he just so happened to be there. And he got in my face. He threatened to beat me up and all this other stuff. And I just stood there looking at him, and I'm just like, okay, beat me up then.
Yeah,
Like, because I didn't
like,
want to
bring it.
fight.
Right.
Didn't want to fight him at all because I've never just been no fighter. Am I
Right. But
afraid
if you
to
had
fight?
to, you would.
Yeah. Am I
Yeah.
afraid to fight? No. But I didn't want to fight him. Because I just want him to leave me the fuck alone. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I just
Right.
want him to leave me
Right.
alone.
Mhm.
So he just stood in my face. He screamed at me for a good 30 minutes. I beat your
30,
ass.
30 minutes.
And I'm just standing there like, okay, if he was gonna hit me, he would have been did it. But now I'm not gonna make the first move. I'm not gonna touch him first. So it is what, because I never touch people first. I'm never gonna
Right.
make the first move.
Right.
So he screamed at me. He screamed at me. He screamed at me. He screamed at me. Don't ever say you gonna cut me. Don't ever say. And I'm like, I am.
Mhm.
Like just leave me
Right.
alone. Like I am. Like it's in my book bag right now. It's one of my mama's good knives too. So just leave me alone. And then my mother pulled up, and I walked away, and I went home. And from that point, I didn't see him anymore. So that reminded me of an incident in the 7th grade where this same guy was not that guy, but the same guy that sent me the note with the mucus in it. He was another
Mhm.
guy that would constantly
Yeah.
bother me and bother me and
Right.
bother me
Right.
until I blacked out and kicked him in the nose that day and made it bleed.
Mm.
And he tried to fight me after school.
Mm.
But y'all bothering me. But then when I respond, it's a problem. Like,
Problem is, of course, of course.
you know. So that situation in the 9th grade with that guy, where I said I was gonna that I brought the knife to school for him and stuff like that. I said, okay, Scott, you losing it, because it was to the point where I had told my mom that I wanted to drop out. I was
Mm.
ready to drop out of high school at that.
Mhm.
I was 15 when I told my mom that. I said, I don't want to go back to school anymore. Like, I'd rather drop out
Right.
and get a GED. I don't want to go back.
Mm.
And of course, my mama wasn't having it. So because I said I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like, I don't want to constantly deal with this. I want to kill myself. I don't want to go to school. Like, I'm tired. Like, every time I go to school, I'm scared to walk in big groups. I'm scared to walk into a big group of people. I go the other way so I can avoid big crowds of people. I don't like walking by myself. I
Right.
barely have any friends. I don't want to deal with this anymore. So we got into the 10th grade, and I told myself on the first day of school, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I am not going to deal with this year. I'm not dealing with it this year. I promise you I'm not. And I didn't. You couldn't shut me up.
Mm. Yeah.
I was extra defensive, though. I was
Yeah.
extra
Mhm. Right.
defensive. Like, you
Right.
could say nothing to me. I was going to black out on you. Students, teachers, the whole nine. I blacked out on everybody by that point. But then, it's kind of like more people started to like me because I started black. I don't know what it was. Like, more people started to like me then. Like, I started getting more friends and stuff. Mainly
Yeah. I don't know.
female.
It's like, yeah, it seemed like you do get more respect when you have more bass in your voice, you pump out your
Yeah.
chest, so I guess they respect you more for that for whatever reason. I mean, so
Mhm.
but why do you think, like, what do you think about that? What is your perspective on that?
To be honest, I was always wondering, like, why did it take for me to black out or curse
Yeah, you're
these people
right.
out for them to show me a little bit of respect? Now, I was still having a little trouble with some of the guys, but a lot of the females the girls were befriending me a lot. Like, I ran with a big pack of girls. Like, they were
Wow.
my friends.
Right,
And
right.
then I had, your select male friends that was jumping onto my side and being friends with me. And of course, some people, we're in high school, so there were some people who didn't want to be friends with me because of the whole the rumors of me being gay. Nobody really knew that I was gay or not. Like, because I never had no boyfriend. I didn't date a guy in high school. I never said anything about liking guys in high school. That's just what they assumed.
What they were
So they didn't
saying.
want a lot of guys didn't want to befriend me because of the gay stuff. But then there was some who didn't care about the gay stuff. They just liked me as a person.
Right.
So by the time I got to senior year in high school, I was like, could nobody shut me up by then. By the
Right.
time I
And
got
I
to the
think that's
10th
what it
grade,
was too. Right. I
yeah.
think as you gotten older, I think they understood what they were not able to get away with when it came to you. And I think that's what it was too. I think that when you were younger, they was able to walk all over you. You didn't have a voice, like you said, and they just knew they could continue to get away with whatever they was getting away with because no one did anything. You didn't have that support system. But then as you gotten older, you're like, wait a minute, this is okay, this is not the way it's supposed to be. This is not going to go down the way it's going to go down anymore. I'm fed up with this. I have to take a different approach. And so once you did that, and once you let them know or you made it clear what they're not able to get away with,
Mm-hmm.
that I think to me, that definitely resonated, with them and say, okay, let me be this person's friend. Let me play it safe and be this person's friend, you
Right.
know. But let me ask you, when did you come out, Scotty? When did you come out?
So I feel like I came. Okay, so I came out. I feel like I came out several different times. So just bear with me when I answer this
Sure.
question. So
Mhm.
when I was in college, I think I was like just turned 19, and my cousin Reggie was my roommate, and I had just met this guy. This guy had approached me on Facebook one time, and I thought he was so cute and stuff like that. So he lived around a block from the college that we went to. So I was pretty much like easy access. Like he could come and see me whenever he wanted. So when my cousin wasn't around, I'd sneak off to go see the guy and stuff like that. So one day the guy broke my heart and told me he couldn't be with me and stuff like that. Come to find out he had like two other guys that I didn't know nothing about.
Mm, mm,
And
mm.
I was sitting up in my room, just hurt, listening to Monica just crying
Aw.
stuff. And my cousin walked in the room and he asked me what was wrong. And of course, I couldn't tell him because it was about a guy. And at the time, my cousin was straight. So I came out to him first and I told him, he was like, I don't give a fuck about you being gay, blah, 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 blah. Fuck that. I don't care what nobody got to say. Okay, whatever. So then after him, I started telling certain people in our circle that I was gay. And, I was just picking and choosing what friends I wanted to tell that to. So by the time I turned maybe like 20, I think I came out. I think because my mother would constantly ask me if I was gay. Because I guess she already knew. And I would always say no. But it was one day we were arguing and she asked me again and I blurted it out.
Mm.
And then, you know, the reaction wasn't the best, but it was kind of like, we moved on from it. It's like we never spoke on it. It was never talked about. So when I turned 21, I'll never forget, it was Valentine's Day, 2 days after my birthday. I don't know why we were all arguing. It was me, my mom, and my sister. We were all arguing. And then it came up again. Are you gay? Because I feel like you're lying to me. Are you gay? I looked at my mother because I'm thinking to myself, I already told you this.
Right. I guess she wants to be sure.
Yeah, I was like, mother, I said, mama, I told you I like dudes like 2 years ago. Like, why are we doing this? And so
And
when
when
so
oh,
when I said that, then the reaction, I guess, it settled into her. So I would say that my mama's reaction wasn't the most pleasant, but the thing with my mom was she cried, she screamed, she yelled, but the next day it was like nothing happened. And she never disowned me. She never treated me any differently. It was like she had that one moment where she cried and screamed and stuff, but the next day okay, what you want to eat this morning? Blah, 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 blah.
mm,
Like it was like nothing ever
mm,
happened. But years later, when we went to therapy, I got a better understanding because she even admitted that she made it about her versus
yes.
thinking
Most
about
parents
me.
do. Most
Yeah,
parents do. Yeah.
thinking about me
Yeah.
and how I felt coming out to her.
Yeah.
And
They think it's their fault that you made you they made you that way.
yeah, she thought she did something wrong. And all this other stuff. And then she went on to say that she had an uncle that was gay. And when she was growing up in the 70s, she had an uncle that was gay. He used to wear aprons and stuff, dressed like a woman and stuff. But the family sent him to a mental institute.
Mm,
So it kind of makes sense
yeah,
as to
yeah.
why her reaction was what it was. So I understood my mother a lot better.
Right.
Um, one of my siblings, when I came out to, to them, they wasn't the most receptive. We didn't talk for months behind that, but we eventually got back. We got to be cool, but I always felt like it was an elephant in the room.
Got you.
Still was a big elephant in the room. But then when it came down to my youngest brother, I came out to him when he was 12. When I
Okay.
first came out of the closet, he was only like maybe 9, 10. And my mother came to me and she was like, "Are you going to tell your brother?" And I said, "He's only 12. Why do I need to tell him that?" And she was like, "Well, you can't keep hiding it
You
from him."
can't.
So
He
when she
understands more than you think.
right, so I
Mhm.
told him and he was like, "Okay." And I was like, "That's it?
Mhm.
Like that's it? Like you don't." He was like, "What am I supposed to say?"
What did you expect?
And
Yeah.
then I said, "So you're not gonna throw nothing at me. You're not gonna cuss me out. You're not gonna say you're embarrassed of me. Like you're not gonna do none of that." And he was like, "Well, why would I say that? You my brother, so why would I say that?"
Mm.
And he was
Wow.
only 12 when he said that.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So I was like, that made me feel better. And of course, my mother also asked me about my dad. Am I gonna tell my dad? And by this time, me and my dad had made up and we were in a better place, but I wasn't open with him about my sexuality. So my mother asked me, "Are you gonna tell your dad?" And I said, "He ain't never asked." And so
Mm,
she said, "Well, I'm gonna tell him then." I said, "You can tell him, I don't care. Go ahead, tell
mm,
him." And
mm.
when she told him, he was like, "Okay, that's still my son." So it's like my dad and my brother had the best reaction to it. So
Okay.
once my mother and my dad and my brother knew, then it was no longer me trying to be discreet anymore. I was open with my sexuality once they knew. So
Well,
once they knew,
right.
I didn't care
So
anymore.
you got more comfortable, but I want to go back a little bit because I want to find out. I'm just curious to find out when did you know? Like how did I come up within
Okay,
you?
so it would be those things where it would go in and out. Like I remember being a little boy, maybe like 10 or 11, and I remember this guy, he went to school with me, and he was one of the only guys in my class that didn't bully me, and I thought he was so fine. He's still fine today, but I thought he was so fine and all this other stuff, but I blanked that moment out of my head. But when I was 14, I tell this story all the time and everybody laughs at me. But when I was 14, this is when I really knew. When I was 14, I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, Scotty, wait, before you get into that story, I just want to interject real quick. When you hit your mic picks up all of that. When you
Oh, I'm
hitting your
sorry.
desk, and you do that all the time doing your videos. I'm like, can you stop hitting, Scotty? You do that all the time in your videos. I don't know if you notice or not, but when you be hitting your desk or hitting something, that mic picks it or pick it up, and it's
Okay,
loud.
my bad. I'm
That's
sorry.
just friendly
But
advice. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
but I never forget it. It was the summer of 2003. I was 14. I was going to the ninth grade that year, and I was watching 106 in Park.
Okay.
And Ashanti had came out with this new video. It was called "Rock with You." And I was watching this video and I'm like, "Oh, she looks great." Blah blah yada yada yada. She looks great. She looks great. But then the love interest in the video was the main thing that caught my eyes.
Mhm.
I was just focused on him the entire
Understandable.
time I was watching the video.
Understandable. Hmm.
And I went to sleep that night and had a dream about him that night. And I
Oh,
was
really?
just like,
What?
what the fuck is wrong with me? And
Oh.
so that's how I knew. But I never acted on nothing when I was in high school. So I felt like if I don't act on it, then it don't mean that I'm gay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
like I didn't date a
Okay.
girl in high school. I never never
I was about to ask you, did you ever dip into the lady pond? I was going to
never
ask you.
dated a girl,
Okay.
never slept with a girl,
Never.
never did
Okay.
none of that.
Okay.
So, you know,
Okay. So, but you kind of knew that because that fantasy was there.
it
So
was.
right? But how did you know? Like, how did that transition into you actually confirming? How did that confirm? What does that confirmation look like? How did that look like to you?
So once I got not high school, once I graduated high school and I went to college, that's when it was like, okay, I'm out here. I'm nowhere near home. So I should be free to do whatever. So that first guy that I just mentioned that hit me up on Facebook, he was a dark skinned guy. That's how I knew I like dark skinned guys a lot. He was a dark skinned guy, and I was 19. I think he was probably 21 or 22 years old. And you know, I was nervous because I never talked to a guy before.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, what's the big deal? Blah 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 blah. So he came up to the school to visit me one day, and he had my phone number. And I went outside, sat in the car, talked to him, and then he kissed me. And I had never kissed anybody before, so he kissed me, and that's how I knew. Then I said, "Oh yeah, this is what I want to do. Yeah, whatever." So
Mm.
I
That
took off from that point. Like I knew that's men is what I wanted to
that's
be
what you
with.
were. That's been your preference ever since. I
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Scotty.
hmm
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back. What college did you go to?
I went to a community college in Mississippi. I went to the school called Hines Community College, and I majored in journalism.
Okay.
And I was about to go to Jackson State University. I was about to transfer to Jackson State, but of course I fucked up in school and I wasn't able to go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from college, what did you do after college? What did you get into?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. When I went to college, it wasn't because I wanted to go, because I did not want to go to college.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I know that's something that my mother wanted. And I knew that my mother wanted to finish college herself because when my mother was pregnant with me, she was in college. So she didn't get to finish. So we were in
Okay.
college at the same time. When
Okay.
I went to school, she went back to school. She got her master's and her bachelor's
Wonderful.
and stuff, but I didn't finish. My sister finished, but I didn't. So I went to school and it was like I'm just going just to be going. Like I just really don't want to go. Like I'm tired of school. Like I've been tired of school for the last
Yeah, it was just the
17 years.
expectation. Yeah.
Yeah, so cause I stopped going to class, then I started dropping courses. And then at first I got
Mm.
on academic probation. So I was still able to go, but then I got on academic suspension in May of 2010. So I was like, well, I ain't going back, whatever. So once that happened, I really wasn't sure on what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I just knew I wrote, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to write, and I like to commentate on things. And I'm 21 years
Like
old.
what? Commentate on like what? Things like what?
Like back then, Facebook used to have the notes feature. So I used to write about whatever I was dealing with at the time. And then one day I stopped writing notes and I just started taking my Canon camera out and I just started doing blogs. So I
Oh, okay.
started doing that on Facebook first. So that's what I
Okay.
was doing. And
Okay.
then I started getting noticed locally. Like I'd be at the mall, and then there'll be people that say, "That's that boy that do them Facebook videos." I hear them in the mall
Wow.
saying it. So people
Hmm.
locally knew who I was. So I remember one of my friends was telling me, "I think you should move to YouTube." And I'm like, "I'm not going over there so they can drag me. I ain't going over there." Blah blah blah. So this is a year after they told me to do that. So now it's 2010. I'm 21. I ain't got no job. I'm just making like I'm doing mix CDs for
Doing
people.
whatever.
That's my
Oh,
hustle. I'm like
okay,
got a little hustle.
okay.
So that's what I'm doing in the meantime, between time, I'm babysitting my brother. I'm taking care of him while my mom and stepfather is at school. So I really ain't got nothing else to do. So I chose to just go ahead and get on YouTube and start doing that. And so once I did it, I never stopped. And
Okay.
I
Oh, so it
continued to
started from
write.
here. Okay, because I'm just a little bit before you ease into that YouTube space. Before you get into that, real quickly, I just want to kind of insert this because I want to know the time that you started taking on the household responsibilities. Because you mentioned that your mom and your stepdad were working, going to school, and you had to take on the responsibility of caring for your siblings and going to school. So you had your own full plate. Because I always wondered, did you ever feel any level of resentment?
I did.
Okay, because I was hoping that you be honest with me about that, because not saying that you don't love your family, but you just, I just feel like it's not fair for you to or anybody to take on the responsibility of an adult as a child. Even though I know there are times as the older sibling, or you have to learn how to do certain things, because of course you got to be domesticated at some point. But I just feel like for you to be put in that position,
Yeah.
I always wondered, were you resentful? Did you rebel at that point? And
Um, I was resentful, and I remember back in 2018, I admitted that in therapy when me and my mother went to therapy together.
I was hoping you would. Okay.
I admitted that I resented her and my stepfather, and I resented the whole being the oldest and being the person that everybody, goes to
Mhm.
for everything. Because at one, I feel like I couldn't live my life. I feel like I couldn't have a life of my own because
Right.
I'm so focused on dealing with everybody else's life that I can't enjoy myself. Like I can't do what I want to do because I got to do this and I got to do that. Love y'all, but uh I got a life of my own too. So,
Mhm.
whatever. So I did say that I did admit to having a little bit of
And how
resentment.
does she respond?
Hmm?
How does she respond? Your mother, how does she respond?
Of
Did she
course
receive it?
she was emotional, but she
Yeah.
understood where I was coming from though.
Good.
Like, you
Okay.
know.
Because I was hoping, because most parents, they are it's so hard for them to take in accountability, as parents. It's like when they become parents, they feel like that authoritative nature of them, they just are afraid of accountability. So I'm glad that she's
I can say this about my mom.
mm,
We do have that kind of relationship where I can hold her accountable
okay.
and she can hold me accountable.
Hmm.
She may not like what I say, but she appreciates me being honest with her.
Got it.
So I have that kind of relationship. Like my mother has never just been overbearing like that. Like she's been overly protective, yes,
Hmm.
but we do have that open door relationship where I can definitely hold her accountable and tell her
Good.
exactly how I felt if
Okay.
I felt wrong by her or something like that. And
Yes.
she'll take it, she'll own it, she'll apologize.
I thank you, because I'm about to ask, did she ever apologize? I was just about to ask that. Thank you for putting that into perspective. I appreciate
Mhm.
you sharing that, because I wanted to get into that right before your YouTube, because I know your YouTube career is going to take on a life of its own during this
Yeah.
interview. So I wanted to make sure that I got to that part before we got into the YouTube space. So thank you for
Mhm.
that. Yeah. So you're saying at the time you didn't have a steady job at the time, and so you got into the YouTube space. So what made you decide to finally do that?
Cause I was sitting at home and I was bored and I really didn't have anything to do. And most of my friends were working and I wasn't. So I was just sitting at home and I was just like, let me try this.
Okay.
And then I started doing it. And I remember one of my first videos probably got 100 views, and I was so happy about that. I just thought I was a big
Yeah.
dog with that.
Do you
And I
remember
remember,
what that first video was? You remember what was your first YouTube video?
okay, so I know I did. I know I posted one video just introducing myself, but I think the very first video was a video. I want to say it's a video called Liars and Users. And I think it was a video where my cousin had found out that I was gay and he cursed me out and disrespected me to the highest form. And I did a video about it and I put it on YouTube and Facebook and I talked about
Wow.
that.
Okay.
And I think that video had gotten like about 100 and some views. And I'm like, oh,
That
okay.
was your first story time. Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
was my very first story time.
Yeah.
And so then it went from that to I love the Housewives of Atlanta. So it was season
Mm,
3,
okay.
and I started reviewing that with my best friend. And then Basketball Wives was my favorite show. I started reviewing that. And then I loved Chili from TLC. She had this show called What Chili
Yes.
Wants. I was talking about
Yes.
that.
I remember. I
And I
remember.
loved Brandy. So I did this. So they, Brandy and Ray J had a show called The Family Business,
Mhm.
and I started
Mhm.
talking about that. And it just snowballed from there. And other YouTubers started to see me and they started shouting me out and stuff like that. Like these were people that I was inspired by. And
Wow.
I was like, wow. And then I started gaining this little small community. And I would be honest, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But whatever I was doing, it was
It was
working just a
working.
little bit for
Yeah.
me. Like I would say the first 3 years I was on YouTube, it moved by real slow.
Mm,
It was a slow
right.
process.
Right.
But by the time I got to 2013, that's when it started to blow up because of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And
Yes.
those
Okay.
videos were very funny and they were blowing up. And you know, them 3 years was big for me. But around 2016, it slowed down again. So it was just
Okay.
like, what am I gonna do? What can I do? You know, you know, at one point in time, I started to lose confidence because it was moving slow, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, am I, you know,
Mm,
whatever.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
as much as the pandemic was a headache for a lot of people, it was a blessing for me
Yes. Oh, for a lot of people. Yes.
because
Absolutely.
that's when I changed my name to Scotty by Nature.
Why? Well, yeah. How did that happen? You know, because I like Scotty. By the way, I like Scotty by Nature better. But how
Yeah.
did it go from Mr. Still Standard to Scotty by Nature? Can you tell me about that?
Okay, so Mrs. Still Standing started because I couldn't think of a name.
Oh. Oh.
And
Okay.
at the time, one of my favorite singers, Monica, had
Monica.
an album out
Okay. Okay.
called Still
Still
Standing.
Standard. Yes. Yes.
And I was listening to it a lot in 2010. So I just put a Mr. behind in front of the Still Standing. So that's why
Ah.
that was my name because I loved Monica. Still do. Can't wait for the concert on Halloween.
Yeah, right.
But
Right.
still, you know, love Monica.
Yes.
But I hated that name after a while. I'm like, I hate that name.
Mm,
And so maybe 4 years after my channel started, I had gotten my first job at the dollar store. And there was this
wow.
girl named Alicia. I never forget it. She would call me Scotty by Nature all the time. I don't know why she would call
Oh.
me that.
Oh.
She was like,
Wow.
I'll walk in there, get ready to clock in. She like, Scotty by Nature. And I just let her do it. And I'm just like,
That
why?
is yeah, because that's a nice ring to it.
Well, I'm
I
like, why
love
is she
yeah.
doing it?
Yes, I'm glad
And
you
it
changed
stuck
it.
with me because we worked
Yeah.
together for 2 years straight, and I would constantly hear Scotty by
Oh,
Nature, Scotty by Nature, Scotty by Nature, Scotty by Nature.
I
And
think it's
I
your
love
personality.
right. And I loved Naughty by
Naughty
Nature
by
too.
nature.
I love them.
Of course,
So
of course.
it kind of stuck after all those years. It stuck. So that was 2014 when that name first came about, when she first called me that. So here we are in 2020, and I'm saying I want to change my name. And I could hear Alicia in my head saying, Scotty by
Naughty
Nature,
by
Scotty
nature.
by Nature, Scotty by Nature, Scotty by Nature, Scotty by Nature, Scotty by Nature. And I decided I'm just gonna add the TV at the end, and that's gonna be my name. So
Oh, wow,
so yeah, that's
wonderful.
how Scotty by Nature came about.
Oh, okay, I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
And like I said, I love that name. Yeah, that's it suits you, by the way. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, your personality is so big, so I get it. So you got into this YouTube space. So I wanted to know, because I know you not only do YouTube, you also have a full-time job. Is it full-time or part-time?
Full time.
So you still juggle. How do you juggle it? And you have all these thousands of panels that you that you all and segments that you created. So how do you juggle it all? How do you manage it?
It's I don't know how I do it. All my friends be saying, how do you go to work at 5 a.m., get off at 1, and then you get home and you do all these different lives, all these different panels? How do you do that? I push myself to do it because this is something that I love to do, and I know that I was made for it.
Mm,
And so my thing is this: I love doing YouTube, and but I know how YouTube can be. Like there's people who've made YouTube their long
yes,
careers.
it can be a full
And
time. Hmm.
right, and I would love to do that, but I think about the other aspect of it
It's
all.
risky. It's very risky.
It's very risky.
Hmm.
You know, you have your good months and you have your bad. Last
Hmm.
month was a bad month. That's why this check that I'm finna get next week ain't gonna be that great, in my opinion. But you know, you have your goods and you have your bads. Over the summertime, it's real slow sometimes. It gets really good over the fall and the winter and spring months, but the summertime, some about it, it's slow.
Mm,
And I think about my job as much as I hate it. I have insurance.
yes.
I have medical, dental,
Yes.
vision.
Hmm.
Um, I have
Yes.
401k, I
Yeah.
have life
Mhm.
insurance policies, I have all of that. So I think about that stuff, and
Yes.
that's why I keep my job. I don't
Absolutely.
want to, but that's why I
Yeah.
keep my job for now. Now, if I was making the kind of money that I would love to make on YouTube, I probably wouldn't be working.
Right. Of
But
course.
you know, this keeps me afloat, and it you know, kind of affords me to do whatever I want to do sometimes. But you know, it's nothing wrong with having more than one thing of income. There's nothing wrong with it.
Well, absolutely not. So I'm gonna get. So Scotty, you know, his main channel. He also has, whether you like it or not, he also has a panel where they review the Chasing series, Chasing the Chasing Atlanta, Chasing Dallas, the
Anything
Chasing
on
Reality,
Chase?
Chasing Reality, Chasing
Yeah.
Reality, right? And then also I missed this segment, by the way. I wonder if you are going to put it up again. The one on one, young, fresh, and new. Or I wanna.
Yeah,
Hopefully you get that up again.
I
You
will.
know. Okay. So so you see all of the all of the platforms that he has, and so the fact he's able to manage it and juggle it all, and so I really admire that, about you. And you also have a book out, so you
Yeah.
had time to be an author and all these things. So tell me more about this book of yours.
Okay, so and there it is. So, do you want to know about the book or the journey of me writing?
Both.
Okay, so I'll start with the journey first. I've been writing since before I started writing books, I was writing songs.
You was. Oh, I didn't know about the
Yes.
songs.
Yes, I was writing songs. I started writing songs when I was like 13. And then I got into the book thing at 15. But before I started writing books, I remember it plain as day. It was everything happened in the summer of 2003. That's when I first realized that I like boys in 2003. This is when I really got into the writing literature thing in 2003. I was 14. My mother was watching All My Children. She loved All My Children. My mother was watching All My
Me
Children, One
too.
Life to
Yeah.
Live, General Hospital. She will also put a little bit of As the World Turns in there. She'll put a little bit of Guiding Light in there. She'll be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So one day, me and my sister used to always wonder, why does she watch this? Why does she watch this? So one day I was watching All My Children with my mom. I'll never forget what was going on. I think Erica Kane was going to get married to Jack Montgomery, and um that's when Greenlee came in and interrupted the wedding and said that she was his daughter.
Well, yes,
And
I remember.
Erica knew the whole time. And I was sitting there watching it. I'm like, oh, this shit good.
So you
And
got
then,
into it. Yeah.
yeah, this shit good. Oh my God, this shit good. So my mama was telling me, so I watched it. Like that's back when my mother was working for the postal service then. So back then she would get off of work around like 12, just in time for All My Children to come on. So I would sit there watching it with her all summer. And my mom was like, now tell me what happened. But then again, don't tell me what happened. I'm watching on SoapNet later on tonight. I said, okay. So I'm sitting there watching it, and I was like into it. Then when Michael Campius got murdered and stuff, I was really
Mm.
into it. So I started going to so that's when I went to high school. That's the year I started ninth grade. So I was only looking at All My Children, but then I got wrapped up into I was looking at my mother's soap opera digest magazine. And I was
Wow.
looking at the Days of Our Lives stuff, and they had the Salem Stalker, and I was so into it. I was into it. So I said, I'm going to write my own soap opera. That's what I did. So I
Mm.
was writing, and I would pass it around to the girls in my class, and they would read it, and they were like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? So I was writing it every day. And like it would be every page would be an episode. Every day I give it to the girls in my class. They'll read it every day. They'll be into it too. Like, oh my God, they'll be into it. So when I was like in the 11th grade, I started writing a book, my very first book. And one of my favorite movies of all time is Soul Food.
Mm.
And I always wanted to write a book about a family,
Okay.
a dysfunctional family, because I have a dysfunctional family. So I could relate.
Right.
So I
Right.
was writing a book, and this is so funny because I brought this up at my book release the other a couple of months ago, a couple of weeks ago. It was my very first book that I wrote, and it was like inspired by soul food. And me and my cousin Reggie, once again, we was watching Jerry Springer. And these two women were arguing over this man that was sleeping with the both of them, but was also sleeping with a man too. And they were
Mm-hmm.
going back and forth, back and forth. And
Mm-hmm.
the girl was like, first you sleeping with a hoe, now you sleeping with a boy. And then the girl was like, hoe? And she was like, yes, hoe. Then the girl was like, bitch, please. And I said, that's the name of the book. The book gonna be called Bitch Please. That's the name of the book. So that was my very first book was Bitch Please. I never reviewed it. I never put that out. It was terrible. I never put that out. But that was the very first book. So I was writing books like every year. And Oh, I just got my jump drive from when I went back home in Mississippi to visit. I have every book that I ever wrote on a jump drive. So with this particular book that you just put up, that I just put out, I wrote that book in 2011.
Mm,
And what I did with that book was I took the elements of my soap opera watching
okay.
and I mixed it up with my favorite reality TV shows. So it's like a mixture of like it's like you reading urbanized All My Children mixed up with the love and hip hop
And
type of thing.
a little bit of 2B TV.
You could say that like it's giving
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's like an urban
yeah.
soap opera with a touch of a
Right.
reality show,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
also giving a little bit of zane at the same time. Like
Okay.
it's giving
Okay.
all that. Like if you ever read like a Carl Weber book, it's like
Mhm.
that. You know
Yeah,
what I
my mom
mean?
loves car rather, but yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, congratulations on that, on the new book. Please make sure you purchase. I'm going to have all of this in the description box, by the way, so you're going to be able to get access either way. So I really I'm proud of you on that journey as well. And so
Mhm.
you have this book. You are an award-winning content creator, by the way. I'm going to make sure I
Yes.
put that out there.
3 times.
Um, three times. There you go. 3 times. All right. Hey, that's right.
Three
Know
times.
your worth. That's what I say. Know your worth.
Right.
And you also have the humble. You have your still have a humbling spirit.
Mhm.
Full time job. You are family oriented. So let me ask you, Scotty, what do you love, Scott? What do you love, Scotty? I mean, and let me just explain why I asked that because we all say we love people, we love this person, we love this thing, and so there's this idea of love that it resonates with different people different ways. So what do you love, Scotty?
I love peace.
Mm,
That's one of the main things because I didn't always have peace, but I love
mm,
peace. Um, Not only do I love peace, I love intellect. I love that. I like to have intellectual conversations. Um, I love music.
oh,
That's my first.
yes.
That's my first love. I love
Yes.
music.
Yeah, I wanted to get more into that. If you do decide to come back to this platform, I want to get
Uh
more into your love of music because that is my lane as well. So I was so impressed by your knowledge of music. I'm like,
huh.
what do you know about that?
Listen,
Yeah,
people
so
don't
that's a
understand.
whole nother conversation. We got to come back for
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I love music. I love love. I love friendship. I love family. That
Okay.
matters.
Mhm.
I love honesty. I like having honest conversations even when I don't want to hear it. I love those type of things. Like, I love things that I like challenges. Because I like to be challenged because everybody looks at me like I'm the underdog all the time and I like to prove people wrong. That's like my
Got it.
favorite thing to do is to prove people wrong.
Got it.
I love
Yeah.
things that are not right for me. Like she said, I like Coca-Cola. I like things that are not right for me. I like rough boys. I like thug boys. That's
Mm,
not right for me.
mm,
I love a
mm.
Mr. Wrong.
Yeah, right.
Mr. Wrong is a Mr. Right for me.
Yes,
Like,
right, right.
you know, I like to walk. I would rather walk any day. I love my Scotty gang. Um, I like literature. I like to write. Those are my main things that I love. Like those are if you ask me what I love, that is what I love. I love food.
You a foodie?
Yes, love food. Oh my god, you wouldn't even know that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said, where the heck does it go?
Right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with you, Scotty.
Okay.
I just want to play a little question game. I want to see how long
Oh, I
you
know. I
go.
saw your interview with Tremel, so you try to go get me caught up, but it's all right.
And thank you for promoting that, by the way. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I just want to like I said, question back and forth, question with a question. So I want
Okay.
to see how this goes. All right. So what's going on with you, Scotty?
What you mean? What's going on with me?
How do you know that I want to know what's going on with you?
Cause you asked.
That didn't last long, did it? That didn't last long. Okay, take two. Scotty, what's up with you?
What's up with you?
How you know something's up with me?
How do you know something is up with me?
What makes you think something's up with you?
Oh my God, where'd she go? Oh my goodness, y'all. Where'd she go? Why am I here by myself?
I don't know what
Oh,
just happened just now. I'm sorry. I don't
oh,
know what
you
just happened.
good.
I just kicked myself off. See, that's your fault.
Oh my God.
Okay, take 3. What you got going on tomorrow?
What you got going on tomorrow?
What do you think I should do?
What do you think you should do?
What do you like to do?
Why are you asking me what I like to do?
Because I want to know. Sure, how about that? All right, one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you started off this time.
What's the deal with you?
Why you want to know what's the deal with me?
Because I want to know.
Oh goodness, we got to work on that.
We do.
Yeah, so because I wanted to try to get as much in as possible. So I know you have another one of your 1,000 panels that you have to get to. So I want
Yeah.
to be considerate of your time. But I want to ask this a couple of questions before we wrap up because I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoy the responses that I get, and I'm definitely looking forward to yours. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
um, if you had 5 people to join you at the seat of the table, dead or alive, who would
Oh,
those 5 people be and why?
oh my God. That is so hard. You said 5 people.
5 people.
I will start off by saying my cousin Martell, he's no longer with me.
Oh, why you have
Uh,
a cousin named Martell? Ain't that something?
yeah, I have a cousin named Martell. He's no longer with me, but him,
Mhm.
probably my other dear friend who's no longer here, Danita. She
Oh,
she's
yeah.
one of the reasons why I even released my book.
Really?
'Cause she was trying to help me release my book before she passed. So,
Oh,
you
okay.
know.
Rest in peace to her.
Um, Probably my cousin Reggie because he's been around for everything in my life. So I would probably involve him. Um, Jamar,
Mm-mm.
and does it have to be somebody that I know? Or does it?
No, no.
And probably somebody just said it, K Michelle.
Okay. That was that 5 you said your cousin, your best friend, Danita, K Michelle. You have one more.
I said my cousin Reggie too and Jamar.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did you say why? I don't remember you saying why for Jamar.
Well, because with Jamar, he was one of the first people that I befriended on this YouTube platform. We started around the same time. He's been a very good friend to me. I've never had to question his loyalty, never had to question his friendship. He's one of the reasons why I'm in Atlanta now.
Mhm.
And it's always been me and him ride or die. Although we have a big group of friends with us at this point in time of our lives, but it's always been us all the time. So he always have to be in there. Um did I say why? And K Michelle, just because that's my favorite,
Yeah,
one of my
your favorite
favorite people, and
artist.
she reminds me
Yeah.
of myself.
So let me ask you, who would get the big piece of chicken and why?
Out of those 5,
Yeah.
oh my God. Martell, because he loved chicken. And he would probably make me give it to him.
Uh, he would just take it. He would just
He'll
grab it. He
just
would just
take
take
it.
it.
He'll just take it, and I'll be like, "Okay, Martell, whatever."
So okay, so this next question, I love the response that I get from this as well. And this is taken from the late James Lipton from Inside the Actor Studio. So Scotty by nature, when you enter into the pearly gates, what would you want God to say?
Oh, what would I want him to say? Let me see. What would I want God to tell me? You didn't do everything I wanted. You didn't do everything I asked you to do, but you did your best.
There you have it. Yeah. So now can you tell us about the next panel that you're going to?
Okay, so the next panel that I'm going to, which is at 8:15, is Roaster Review, and we're talking about Bill Collective, which is a show that is on the OWN network, and it is it's set where I'm from, in the area that I'm from, Jackson, Mississippi.
And so can you tell me or tell us the viewers, what do you have going on in the present that we haven't discussed in the near future? Can you give us more
Oh,
what
wait a
you're
minute.
doing?
I just knew you was gonna give me them questions that you gave Tremel with the whole is it this or this? What would
Yeah,
you choose?
I was going to.
You
I was going.
can.
You
You
still
still
can't?
can.
Or we still?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
because I wasn't sure.
we still got some time. You can.
Oh, okay. That's why I try to switch it up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can. We got
okay,
time.
okay. So, all right, all right.
I was
So,
waiting for that.
oh, yeah, okay, good, good, good. Okay, because I always do random stuff. So, oatmeal or cream of wheat?
Oatmeal.
Okay, Black Street or Guy? I know, I know. Oh God, that the face, Lord Jesus. I wish I could copy that. I wish I could screenshot that face.
Oh, that's so difficult.
I know, I
I'm
know.
probably gonna go with Guy because I like is literally playing in my head right now. And my mother told me that when I was a baby, she would have to, all she had to play was I like, and I go to sleep. I stop crying.
Okay,
So I'm gonna go with Guy.
okay. So, New Jack Swing or Bad Boy Era? You wanted this? You wanted it?
I should have just let you end this interview. Um,
Come on with it. They don't come on with it. It's just and it's just for just this moment. It could change tomorrow.
oh,
I know, I know.
I'm gonna go with New Jack.
Oh,
That
you
was a
trying to
hard one though.
I know, I know. Sorry, not sorry. But anyhow, anywho, I'm going to give you some more. All right.
Okay.
So Donald Lawrence or Ricky Dillard?
I don't even know who them people is.
Oh, you don't do you listen to gospel? I'm sorry.
I don't listen to a lot of
Oh,
gospel.
okay, okay, all right. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. He's like,
Outside of Kirk Franklin or Dottie Peoples or some stuff
yeah,
like
because that's what. Okay,
you know. I don't know a lot of gospel like that.
okay, got it. Okay,
Mhm.
so Jagged Edge or 112. I saw.
Damn. Damn. Jagged Edge.
Okay. When you toilet tissue over or under?
What you mean over or under?
When you install your toilet tissue in the bathroom, do you do over or under?
I think it's over.
Do you think? How do you do it? How are you putting your tissue? You put toilet tissue. How do you do it?
I think it's over.
How did you? Why would you think? I mean, you have somebody doing it for you? Like what? What?
I
Why
think
you
it's
think?
over. Like, what do you mean by over?
Like, oh Lord, now I gotta show you. Hold on.
Yeah, please, because I'm confused. That's why I said I think it's over. Over or under. I'm like, what the hell? Oh my goodness.
Confused by this, but okay. Over.
Let me see. Oh, okay. Over.
Oh, under. Under.
Over. Okay.
Okay. Oh goodness. All right. So, are you familiar with fashion, like this fashion designers? Okay. Because I was going to ask you, would you prefer Jay Bolin or Miguel Wilson? That's what I was going. That's why I asked about him.
Oh,
Okay. So, Bell Collective or Real Housewives of the Potomac?
oh,
Because I know those are two of your favorites.
Real Housewives of Potomac. I hate to say, I hate that Bill Collective. I hate to say that, but Real Housewives of Potomac.
I thought you were gonna be biased, so I'm glad you wasn't. I thought you were gonna be biased, but being as from
I,
your
I
hometown.
was thinking about it, but I ain't do it.
Okay, all righty. So, and I'm gonna let
I
me
know
say
you
I'm
gonna
gonna.
come, I know you're gonna come with the BS like you did Tremel. I'm just
Oh,
sitting here. I'm
I
just sitting here waiting on it.
am. I am giving the real tea or Jamar.
Oh no, I plead the field.
I know. Mm-mm. See, they ain't listening. They ain't listening. They y'all ain't here. Y'all ain't y'all.
Oh my god.
Oh, they ain't here. You gotta choose one, Scotty. You gotta choose it. I'm sorry. This on me. Don't kill Scotty. This is on me. This is on me.
Oh my god. I'm just gonna say Jamar because I've known him longer.
That's all right, Scotty. But you did the damn thing. You did the damn thing. Yeah, so I really want to let you know how much I appreciate you blessing the platform with your presence. I really, really sincerely appreciate this, Scotty. I really hope that you had as much of a time that I have.
I did.
Appreciate it. And so I hope that you, like I said, because there's so much that we haven't covered that I really want you to come back for. Because I also the reason why I wanted to kind of get more into um your mom and and what she went through and what that dynamic, and I'm glad you brought that up. And when it came to family therapy, because this month is domestic violence month,
Yes.
and so I know you shared those circumstances as well on your platform. So I
Yes.
wanted to get a little bit into that as well. So
Oh,
I appreciate
absolutely.
that.
But can I say
Yeah,
one thing?
sure.
One more thing before we go.
Mm,
Um, I always give these people their spotlight all the time. I do.
mm, mm.
And I'm just gonna give it to them right now. And those people, besides Jamarcus, is a part of this group,
Sure.
is Carl, Tremel, Nikki, um, Keish, Tiffany, and Shannon. This is a big group of friends of mine. And it all kind of began because of my friend Danita, who we will be celebrating later today.
Okay.
And I really appreciate all of them for everything that they do. Especially Carl and Tremel, because like Jamar, they were a part of me coming to Atlanta. And not to mention I can't forget about Bando either, because he's a big part of my life too. So
Yes.
everybody that I called out, including Bando, is a big part of my life, especially my Atlanta life. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know what kind of life I would have out here.
Yeah.
So
How was it for you, Internet? How was it for you?
it's great. I think that the change of scenery was definitely needed. And
Okay.
I feel like I'm at peace. I'm just gonna be really honest with you. The last couple of years that I was in Mississippi, I knew I didn't want to be there no more. And the only thing that was holding me back was really me. I could say that my family was holding me back because I didn't want to leave them, but it's really me that was holding me back. I
Okay.
made the decision, so I had to, I got to take that blame for myself. But I knew, Jamar and I was talking, and I know when he first moved here, he was saying, "You might as well move here. You come here all the time." Like I was coming to
Mhm,
Atlanta
mhm,
multiple times out of the year,
mhm.
so I came here. Jamar and Carl and Tremel, as well as Bando, they were all very instrumental in my move to Atlanta. And I appreciate them so
Yes.
much. I really do.
And I'm so
So
glad that you got that support system. It's so important, especially when you make that. not just transition and relocating, but also you have such a great support system in this YouTube space, and that is so needed. And it
Yeah.
just like y'all have a camaraderie with each other. Y'all feed off each other. Y'all are so you have a family unit here, and so I really admire that as well. So I'm so glad that you were able to kind of come into this space with me. And like I said, I really want you back in this space because there's so much. I think it's so much we have to cover, so much more
Yeah.
ground to cover. So I really am glad that hopefully I'll be in your algorithm. Help your algorithm. And so
Yeah. I
yeah,
hope so because you know how YouTube can
yeah.
be. YouTube can be real funny.
Yes. So, also, while you here, Scotty, can you please, in your own Scotty by Nature way, can you please encourage the people to like, share, and subscribe?
So if you're watching this and you're watching it, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and share to Faith is the Substance. Just as well as you gave me a chance, give her a chance. I am always delighted to work with different YouTubers, whether they're big or small. So give everybody their things. So give her things because she's the reason why this interview even happened. So give her things and subscribe to her channel and watch her other videos as well.
Please. Hey, thank you so much, Scotty. You have any final words? Mhm.
Well, first things first, as I said, I got this book, and I don't know if you noticed or not, so I have to go ahead and put this out here too. That I'm also on a web reality show now too, and it's coming out in December.
Oh, I heard about
So
it briefly. Yeah.
yes, it's coming out in December. They're starting the promotional things this month. So
Wow.
y'all are gonna see my real life,
Okay. Yes. Yes.
from my love life to my work life to my friendship life. You're gonna
Really?
see it all on there. You whatever all the questions that you had about my life, you're gonna get it on this show.
Really? What made you decide to do that, Scotty?
Well, at first I wasn't going to. Okay, let's be clear. I did not want to do a reality show at all. I was always against it. I was like, man, I ain't gonna do no show. I ain't gonna do no show. However, Dominique, who was a part of Chasing Atlanta, I remember him telling me, you should try out for a show. You should try out for a show. You should do Chasing, or you should do this, or you should do that. And I actually did, I wanted to do Chasing, but then there was another show that reached out to me. But then, it was kind of like a thing where I would just be supporting a friend of mine that was already on the show.
Got it.
So this show came about, and I was more comfortable with it because of the different names that they called out that was going to be on the show. And, I felt like I'd be more comfortable with this particular group because they're all around my age. I know most of these people. I probably didn't know maybe one person, but I knew everybody else, and some closer than others. And I was like, okay, I'll do this. And at first I had my apprehension about it because I'm like, sometimes these type of shows make people look at you a certain type of way when they don't
Right.
understand that it is entertainment and that's all it's supposed to be. But I'll never forget the very first scene I did. We was at this restaurant in Jonesboro and we were filming outside, and I was so nervous, trying not to look at the camera. I kept doing my hands like this and all that, just nervous. Like the first
Nervous.
scenes,
Right.
I was
Right.
nervous. But the more I filmed, the more I got really in tune with it. And now I enjoyed filming it for the most part. Glad
Really.
it's glad it's pretty much over with now.
Okay.
Only thing we're
Okay.
doing now is picking, doing maybe shooting like a pickup scene here and there and
Okay.
all that. But we're pretty much done with it. And I can say that most of this show is centered around me. I can say that.
Okay.
I did a
So you
lot
got
of filming.
promoted. Okay. Are you
I
gonna
did a
promote
lot of
it?
filming.
Wow.
So
Oh, okay. So we got it. Okay. So we got to do some promotion here. Yeah. When the time comes. Okay. Okay.
yes, the
We can
name of the
do that.
show is because I'm allowed to say the name of the show
Okay.
now. So
Okay.
the name of the show is The Scene Atlanta. That's the
The
name of the show, The
scene in
Scene
Atlanta.
ATL. It follows 6 different people. You have me as a content creator, then you have a rapper, you have a creative director, you have a person that is a nurse but owns a spa, you have a singer, and you have all of that going on. And like I said, for me, my entire story is really everything that was going on with me at that time, from
Got
me
you.
working on my book being out. I even did a scene with my publisher. That's just how real it was. Like,
Okay. Good.
like
Okay.
talking about my book. I'm talking about my mental health. I'm even revealing something that I hadn't even revealed to my mother yet, which I have to soon, so she won't watch it and catch it on there.
Yeah,
But
wow.
I reveal one of my darkest secrets on there. And like I said, you will see my life, everything about my life.
Wow. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. You know, I'm not really a reality person, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to become one.
It's a good show, I must say.
Yeah, I could see. Okay, I definitely got to promote this. Yeah, but thank you so much for sharing that, Scotty. I really appreciate that. And thank you so much
Mm.
for sharing because I wanted to make sure, like I said, I want to cover, kind of at least get a foundation so, kind of get a better feel of who Scotty by nature is. And I know you shared a lot, on your platform, but I hope that I'm able to get more into you. I want it to be
You
more into you as
can,
a person. Yeah.
because I like to do interviews. As I've done interviews before, and I like doing interviews for the most part. Look, I don't think I'm
Mhm.
really going to enjoy doing interviews promoting this fucking show because all they want to do is be all up in my business when all they need to do is watch this show to be up in my business. But that's the only time I'm probably not going to be enjoying it. But I enjoy interviews for the most part
Me too.
um because I'm very open, so it's nothing that I won't talk about.
Yeah, I see that, and I appreciate your transparency,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of us do too because it's just because I know this is cliche, but you are going to so many people going to identify with you. There's so many people
Mhm.
that going to identify with your story, and then you just don't realize how much of an impact because you ain't realize how much of an impact you had on your brother. So can you imagine the impact that you have on all these other people in the masses that you communicate with on a regular basis? So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm so glad you kept it going. You kept it going for so long, so I just want to congratulate you on everything. You know,
And on the 27th of this month, we'll make 15 years on my YouTube channel.
really,
So
wow,
yes. So year 15 has been very busy.
wow, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah, and that's why I said it makes me more honored to be in the space with you. I really appreciate that. And I'll also before you go, I just want to also ask you as a new content creator who didn't even expect to be in this space because I'm not even a camera person. I don't like to
Mhm.
have my voice. I just been, I'm still kind of getting into the groove, but what advice would you give me, in this space right now?
I'm gonna tell you like I tell any other new content creator that comes into this space. Do it because you like to do it. Don't allow the numbers thing to really get
Mhm.
in the way because sometimes we be focused so much on numbers and that really kills it for content creators. And I'm saying it as a person that was focusing a lot on numbers at the beginning. You
Mhm. Yes.
know, because sometimes when my numbers wasn't the way I wanted them to be, I would get
It's
discouraged and I
discouraging.
didn't
Yeah,
want to do it
discouraging.
anymore.
Yeah.
But the because I was gonna give this stuff up. I was gonna get by the time I hit my 9 or 10 years, I was getting ready to give up YouTube. I was like, ain't nobody watching this. I'm not making a lot of money off
Mm.
this shit. I'm
Mhm.
just gonna give it up. But it took something drastic to happen. And it was like one of those it was one of my moments where I was deep into depression and really, really not feeling myself and was ready to end it all once again. And I don't know what it was about that moment where I was ready to end it all, but it was like I really I was like, I have so much other stuff that I have to do, and I want to do this. And Jamar and I actually came together, and that's when we started doing the prelude and stuff like that. And that was one of
Okay.
the things that put me back into the groove of really doing it. So once the pandemic hit, I hit the ground running, and the more I worked, the more the people came. People will come. You just got to make sure you put yourself out there, continue to put your videos out there, make connects, make relationships with people because relationships and connects are very important. And that was partially why I was able to continue on because I did have those people in my corner. The people like the Ashley Millers, the Scorpion shows, the Forest Roxes, the people that was doing the same thing that I was doing. They was in my corner. And just like they was in my corner, or the Bunny Blues, they was in my corner. I became that person that was in other people's corner that was coming up, like the Jamie That's Me's and the Simply Sakinas of the world, and the Giving You the Real Teas and the Josiah's world people of the world. I became
Yes.
that the same way that Bondi Neal was for me. I became
Yeah,
that for them.
see that impact. That's what
So
I was going to. I was talking about that impact.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
became that for
Mhm,
them, and they can all tell you that they be getting mad with me because I'm so damn humble. They feel like I should be
mhm.
talking my shit like everybody else, but you know, I don't, but it is what it is. But like that's my advice to you. Don't let it be a numbers game. Just do it because you
Mhm.
love it. And the more you do it, and you gotta be consistent. Consistency is the
Yes,
biggest key. If you're
yes,
not consistent, then why the hell are you doing it? So
true.
you gotta be consistent in whatever you do. Somebody gonna watch it. It don't matter if it's 200 people or not.
Mhm,
Somebody's watching. And
mhm,
you don't never know who's watching. Because for me, I didn't know who was watching me.
mhm,
Like
mhm.
I would probably tell you one of the first times that I realized that I had a bigger purpose and I still didn't understand it back then. This was early on when Candy's manager Don One tweeted me talking about my videos. This was in
Wow,
2013.
wow.
He'd been watching my videos for years before I even met him. That's how I knew people were watching me. And then now I definitely know that they're watching now. But back then, that was one of the first things of people that I watched on TV giving me my credit. And
Wow.
so, just keep doing you because like for me, I don't be thinking that I'm that big of a deal. But then when you working with
Right,
people like
yeah.
Storm Monroe who
Yes,
taking me under his wing,
yes,
or you work with people like Armand who, whoever,
yes.
people, he
Mhm,
has a polarizing personality. People like him or they don't. But
mhm,
he was willing to work with me like so many. Tasha K follows me, like
mhm.
these bigger people like that I look to that
Yes,
they like me, they follow me, they respect me and my work. So you will get that same thing. Just keep putting the work in and keep on doing what you do, and don't change for nobody because there was a time where I felt like I needed to change for other
right.
people. And
Yes,
another thing
yes.
too with YouTube, and I'm telling you this because this is something that I
Mhm.
had to learn. The comments will be for you, and sometimes they
Oh,
will
yeah.
be
Oh,
brutal.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
they will be brutal. Sometimes they don't even be on your YouTube channel. You might find
Yeah.
yourself on a message board. They'll post your
Yeah,
video.
how do
They're
I
gonna
get here?
drag
Right.
your ass. Okay. I
Yeah.
have seen some of the most hurtful things said about me. And
Mm.
that some of the these people don't know me. They see me for 1 hour on the live and they think they know me.
Oh, yeah.
But
Mhm.
they have said some of the most terrible things about me. But I had to sit in my shit and realize this. If I can get on camera and talk my shit about celebrities, reality stars, what makes me bigger than the program
Makes you right,
can't
makes
talk
you
about me?
right, right.
So if I can dish it, I need to be able to take it. So now I'm learning how to take it. And also not even just comments. There can be other content creators
Oh, yeah.
that would
Mhm,
hate on you on the sideline because
mhm.
I know that I had what I can I call them a content creator?
Oh, God.
I know that I had a generic ass blogger come at me crazy for no
Mhm,
damn reason, making video after video about me.
mhm.
And I didn't know that person. I didn't know nothing about them. And
Mm.
the sad part about it, I was actually, when I first seen them, I actually endorsed them. I thought they were funny. I thought that, when I first found out that
Mm.
they had a platform, I even, told people to go look at their platform only for them to come at me crazy. And say Scotty by Nature is boring and he's this and he's that, and he don't deserve those awards that he got. And they rigged them so
Mhm.
he can win. Like shit like that. Like,
Wow.
people, and I never responded to none of that. Never
Wow.
responded to it, never gave it a moment's thought because at the end of the day, my channel is doing what it's supposed to do. And if I was so damn boring, nobody would be watching me.
Yes, what's for you is
I,
for you.
I wouldn't even be here for as long as I have been. So,
Absolutely.
long as you believe in you, your product, yourself, and your voice, you will be good. That is something that I had to learn, and that's something that I'm still learning. And that's something that I'm going to instill in you. Because if you don't believe in you, how do you expect anybody else to believe in you? You feel what I'm
Facts,
saying? Like I told you before, all of those content creators that was watching out for me, they get on my ass all the time when I speak down on myself.
right, don't do
He
that.
don't like
Mm,
that. Bondi don't like that.
mm,
Jamie don't like
mm-mm.
that. Ashley Rocks, none of them. They don't like to hear me speak down on myself or
You
anything like
shouldn't.
that. And Jamie actually filmed the scene with me for my show, for this show that I'm on,
Oh,
and
oh.
she got in my ass about that very thing in that scene. So you know everything. So everything that I'm saying, I'm telling you that because those are the things that I had to go through. Those are some of the things that I had to get past. I had to get past the numbers. I had to get past the comments, the
Right,
mean ass
absolutely.
comments. I
Yes,
had to get past the hating ass, fake ass content creators that's hating on you just because
just
you are
because.
you and
Yes,
you are you and they cannot be you.
yes,
So
yes.
you're gonna run into a lot of those things doing this because everybody ain't gonna be happy for you. And even if you do, even if your platform gets like I this is another thing too. The bigger your platform gets, the more people are gonna hate.
Oh, yeah, yes, yes.
You know what I mean? Like I never knew so many people. I never knew people hated me until my platform grew. So
Mhm.
that's just how it is. And some people really don't hate you. They just want to hate you because they feel like that's something that'll bring them
Right,
attention.
right.
You know what
Or
I'm
maybe,
saying?
or because they're miserable themselves.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
there's people that would DM me all day and talk about how much they love me, but then they do weird shit to me when they do their
Mm,
videos, and I pretend like
mhm.
I don't see it. I see it.
Right. Mhm, mhm. Yeah, that
So
Tuesday stuff. Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, keep all of that in mind. Just do the content you want to do, and not do it just because it's trendy. Do it because you care about it and what you want to do. Because I'm even going through one of those things where I want to move into something that I want to do, and that's music. I want to do more music
Yeah, I know
commentary.
you mentioned that. Yeah, you
Yeah,
mentioned that.
so, and
Yeah,
I'm going and I've been talking about it for over the last 2 years, and I'm really gonna do that. And I don't care who don't watch it. I don't care if it only gets 500 views. I don't care if it gets one view.
yeah, right.
I'm
It's
gonna
what
do
you're
it
gonna
because
do.
that's something that I want to do, and that's a part of my life and my personality. Music is a part of my life, a big
Yes,
part. So why not talk about it? So I'm gonna do that. And I know I
yes.
talked a lot, but
No, I appreciate everything that
all that in mind.
everything I absorbed, everything that you said, and I appreciate this coming from you. It means a lot to me. Believe me, it does. So I really appreciate that. If someone suggested that you interview me next, I'm like, I'm not that interested, darling. I'm not
Yeah.
interested. I'm like, yeah, it's like next time interview Faith. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be that interested. You might lose subscribers, but but
Oh
yeah.
my
But thank
goodness.
you, PP. Thank you. Well, anyway,
I doubt it. I've lost subscribers for smaller things than
uh,
that, like for things
oh
that
my
ain't even that deep.
goodness.
So it don't even matter.
Yeah, I know, right? But I mean, it was something else I wanted to ask you. It just totally it just
Mhm.
slipped my mind. Oh God, I hate when that happens. But but I
Oh,
thank you so much for like I said, all of this knowledge and all of the profound messages that you bestowed upon all of us, not just me, but for all of us. Thank you for just being the gem that you are. And I really do appreciate you just coming on and just blessing us, like I said, on my platform. So ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Scotty by Nature TV.
thank
Yeah.
you. See you later.
All right. Yeah, I want to make sure he doesn't miss his panel. So yes, that was Scotty by Nature in the building, and I thank you guys so much for being here and sitting through this interview. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. And just I just hope that I know that a lot of you have followed Scotty from the beginning. A lot of you are his day ones, but I still want you kind of to absorb the knowledge and just being able to understand more of where he's came from, where he's been, and where he's going right now, and just make that be not only a blessing to your lives, but also make sure that it's something that you or somebody else can aspire to. So I do appreciate his wealth of knowledge and him pouring into me the way that he did just now in regards to how to be able to excel in my platform as well, and not being able to focus on numbers, which I try not to, but I just want to make sure that I get as much support as I can. I still want to have as much as engagement as possible. That's why I try to come with the reaction videos and the live interviews and just being able to offer myself in an authentic way. So I just really hope that that will be well received by you guys. And if not, that's okay too. God bless you on your journey. Shout out to Melody Cherie. So I thank you again so much for coming on, and please make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. And in the meantime, until we meet again, Thank you so much. Thank you so much, UK and Wayne. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Nikki McDade. I appreciate that compliment as well. Thank you so much for the encouragement. So until we meet again,